Okay, good. I'm live. Woo. Okay. Hi. Are you ready for this? So you've been asking how to cut fabric, and today we're doing that. But first, hold on. Have you read this book? Are you reading this series? Because, oh my goodness, I have never been so enthralled with a book series in my life. And this is the basis of the project that we're creating today. We are going to make a Basgiath War College sweatshirt. So hold on, let's get started. All right. So here we go. I have my design already created here. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure it's all grouped together, and then I'm just going to enlarge it to fit on my shirt. So that means I'm going to leave this aspect ratio locked, and then I'm going to change my width to 11 inches and hit enter, and that will go ahead and size everything up. I want to do that first just to make sure everything is the right size. Now you'll see it does not quite fit perfectly on here. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup. And all I'm going to do is kind of scoot things up a little bit further so that they're going to fit on here a little bit better. So I'm just going to take out some of that extra distance between these pieces to see if I can't get things to fit a little better. Let's see, how close do we need this to get? Well, let's just start there. Okay, that one's on the page, and I don't know that I grabbed the silver when I did all that. Let's scoot this up a little bit. And then I'm just going to zoom in. I want to make sure this stuff isn't overlapping. Perfect. Okay. That all looks good. So how we're doing this. The Basgiath is going to be cut out of, well, let me show you the materials. Let's just do that. Okay. I have this, oh, and these are upside down, so you can't see how cool they are. Supplies. I've got this black fabric, which I'm going to use this black fabric to do my black dragon. And then I've got this red fabric that I'm going to use to cut out the word Basgiath. These white pieces here, this is Wonder Under. It's fusible. And what this does is it'll help stiffen up our fabric to make it easier to cut, and then it's also adding a sticky part to the back of it, so that way it will actually fuse onto our gray sweatshirt here. And if that is not cool enough, I've got red glitter HTV to outline the word Basgiath, to outline this red fabric, and then everything else that's red is going to be out of the glitter HTV. I also have black HTV. This is going to outline our black dragon. And then I have gold HTV, and that's going to be our little gold dragon. So that is all of our supplies. And the first thing we need to do is I got to get my heat press warmed up. So let's start with that. And I'm sorry, I know the angle for this is kind of goofy, so I apologize. I'm just going to try to hold this and show you what I'm doing. So on my heat press here, I've got this lever to turn it on. And then I know that for I'm using the Sister Glitter HTV. I need 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 seconds. And I know this looks a little goofy, but down here I have temperature and time. I'm gonna go ahead and hit temperature, 320, that's what we want. We're gonna hit set, and then time. I'm gonna start with 6 seconds, and we're gonna use that to do our backing, and then we'll go ahead and change that when it comes time. So that is the heat press. It's all set up, ready to rock and roll. And then let's go back here. So that's heating up so that we can do this. So let's get things set up here. I guess let's set up Silhouette Studio. Okay, we have lots of moving parts here. Our heat press is warming up. And when you ungroup this design, you'll notice there's quite a few layers. So we know this black, I'm gonna give this this bright red color, so that way I know that that is gonna be fabric. And then all that dark red, whoops, Control Z, don't wanna do that yet. All of the dark red is going to be out of red HTV. So to make sure my alignment is good, I'm gonna actually just use my select by color, and I'm gonna do fill color, and I'm gonna grab everything that's this dark red, and now I'm just gonna do Control plus G and group that together. And then I can just peel that off. And then this is gonna be fabric. That's going to be foil on top of that. That is going to be black HTV. Okay, that looks good. This we're cutting out of fabric. We're going to do that in a little bit. This we're cutting out of HTV. This we're cutting out of HTV. So let's get these two pieces sorted out here. Looks like this little gold is, we could do just a small 3x3. So let me grab my ruler. Somewhere I had a ruler. So I've been spending the morning getting this all put together. Pre-cutting everything, got my design created real fast. So I have been in here working on stuff, and you can't see what I'm doing. Let's, we want this one. Okay, so I'm cutting a 3x3 piece out of this. This is my gold. Oh, perfect. Okay, so 3, I'm just gonna make sure, perfect. I can cut scissors. I'm just gonna try my best to cut this in a straight line. And that's a pretty darn good, that's pretty close to 3x3. So that's good. And then with your HTV, remember the carrier sheet is going down and then the shiny side is sticking up. I'm using my sticky mat today. Get rid of that carrier sheet. And then I'm gonna put this up here in the corner. And then you can come in, there's a little bit of a bubble on here. Just use that scraper tool to get that stuck down. That looks good. And then for our black HTV, this is like a 9.2, 7. So I'm going to do like a 10 by 8. Or actually, let's just do a 12. Well, yeah, a 12 by 8 would be fine. And then I'll just make this easier. These rolls are 12 inch. Okay. So we're just going to do 8 inches tall. Yes, 8 inches tall will give us plenty of room. Bring my ruler in here. Okay. See if I can't master a straight edge. I don't have much faith in my cutting of straight edges, but we're gonna do my best. I could also cut this as a roll, but I think it's easier to just try to cut off sections and then just do multiples of these right on my sticky mat at the same time. That's just going to save us some time instead of cutting one roll and then cutting this on a sticky mat. If you're very concerned about getting a straight line, you could certainly do this on a non-healing mat with like a rotary cutter to get a straight line, or use a different cutting tool to do that. Is this going to fit on here? We'll see. Let's see. Oh yeah. So I'm going to put this at the bottom. Again, the carrier sheet is facing down. And then, okay, so that's right about that 4. Gosh, that was really not straight. So let's try to get this straight at the top here, at this 4-inch mark. Please don't judge me for my inability to cut a straight line, okay? It's just not a skill I possess. Okay, so this is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and load this in. So I'm cutting this with my Autoblade. Nothing special going on here. Wait, I don't... Okay, that looks good. Let's get that out of the way. All right, back to Silhouette Studio. Okay, now the other thing we need to do, these are cutting out of HTV. Both of these are going to have to be mirrored. You'll notice I'm back in version, this is like 4.8. I quit on version 5. I was having too many issues. So I'll be waiting for their next update before I go back to version 5. But now let me try to figure out where things are again. Okay, mirror. These parts we can now delete. These dragons are not quite perfectly symmetrical, so thus the mirroring. And I have more space at the bottom than I do right here on the top, so that looks good. Get that kind of over to the edge the best I can. And you know what I'm going to do too? So I'm going to come in around this one. And I'm just going to draw out a square. Then when I go to weed, I can weed this square and then I can cut this extra off. And that'll be just fine. So we might actually have to kind of tap, 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 tap. And then I just want to zoom in at the bottom to make sure, perfect, that is actually within. And we can make this even a little bit closer. Okay, that'll save me some there. This, I pretty much cut a small piece. I'm not so worried. Okay, so we're gonna go to the sun panel. We're just gonna cut these on a simple cut, but we're using carrier 1. This is HTV. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna do these by fill color, because I have potentially different settings here. Okay, so my gray one, I use a flocked HTV setting. And then, so I want a blade of 3, a force of 33, speed 5, 1 pass. That looks good. Oops, I wanted that for the gold one. Flocked. Perfect. And then for my gray, we're going to do a glitter. And then I like to turn that blade up to 4. Force 33, speed 5 should be fine. 1 pass. Okay, that looks good. So minimal changes. Really the only change is the blade depth. It is really the only change. So I want to go ahead and do that. Oh, and I need to also do this one. That's my red line. And that is going to also be our glitter setting, blade 4, force 33, speed 5. Okay, so all of that looks good. That does not need to be mirrored. Everything else was mirrored. We're cutting this out of HTV. We've got it loaded in, and now we can just hit send. We're going to send as is because we've already mirrored, so we can just send as is. And then it's going to go ahead, it's fixing that blade, and it's going to get those cut out. It's been doing this funny thing lately where it's just like, it'll cut, and then it takes a while to kind of think about what it's doing. And then it'll pick back up and start cutting again. Really interesting. I'm not quite sure what that is all about. But while that's cutting, because you definitely do not need to stare at that and watch it cut, we are going to go ahead and get things set up with our fabric. And this goes with this. And then the red HTV will have to cut by itself. Ooh, what is getting stuck here? That's not good. Well, hopefully that little rattling around did not completely destroy our dragon outline, but it might have changed the way things look. We might have to recut that. I'm thinking, I've got something caught in there, because look at that. Now it completely came off. Stop. If it doesn't stop, you just pull that out. Pause. Come on. Jeez. Okay. Well, maybe I need to do a little roller adjustment here. Okay, well, unfortunately, that completely just jacked up our gold HTV, or our black. So let's try this again. I don't really have an explanation as to why I'm having slipping with my mat. And then we decided this needed to come up to that 4-inch mark. I'll go ahead and get that stuck down. And now let's see if I can't cut a straight line like this. And I think I overcut. Come on, straight line. Okay, let's see how that did. Well, I only overlapped a tiny little spot right there. It might be all right. Okay, well, so I'm not sure what's happening. We'll tell it to unload. Come on, unload. Making it reset. Load this back in. Oh, you know what? This one's barely on the edge. Let me scoot this one in so it's on there. That one's actually a little bit over. Let me unload. Try that. Load. Scoot this just a little bit. These are on there. That looks good. We're a little off the edge there. Oh, let's load our blade back in. Come on. what is going on? There, in, there, okay. That was weird. Okay, there should not be, let me pull this forward just to make sure it's not hitting anything in the back. Okay, that looks good. Let's look at this. Right now it says resume. I'm just gonna hit this little X right here. It'll kind of reset itself. Now it's not going to resume. We've got all of our pieces selected. That should be fine. Okay, everything else should be good. We're gonna go ahead and hit send again. Remember, we've already mirrored. We're gonna send as is. Wow, it's not really sure what's happening right now. Wow, it's cutting my dragon in completely the wrong place. Oh my gosh. Okay, unload. Okay, so sometimes stupid things happen. We're just gonna turn this off. We're gonna reboot our machine. You guys, it's really no fun when you end up going through all of your products at once because you can't get your darn machine to do what it's supposed to do. So this is how you waste all your HTV because Silhouette Studio doesn't want to play nice. Okay, let's cut this one another 3x3. And let's see if we can't just get this little guy to do the right thing. We're gonna lessen our expectations here. And this time we're only gonna cut this little guy and see if that will work for us. Let's get that lined up, load it in, put this in here. That's in. Okay, I'm going to unclick those things. So we're only going to cut this little green guy. Again, we're going to X out of this here. And now we're just going to hit send. And we're going to send it as is because we've already mirrored. Okay. Let's see if that can get the job done. Okay, seems like it can do that for us. Yay. I think at this point, I might just throw all of this on there and be done with it. Okay, so where is my little weeding tool? I have too many things sitting here. Okay, here's my weeding tool. I'm pretty confident that that is indeed correct. I can pick up a little edge here. It looks like it cut well. I'm honestly not worried. I've used these cut settings many times. That should be fine. Okay. Good thing I just bought some more of this black glitter HTV because it appears that I'm just going to go through all of it. We're putting the shiny side down. We needed 8 inches. So that's about right there. I don't get it. You know, it's like you can do everything right you can set everything up right, and then sometimes, for whatever reason, you know what happened? I think when it got stuck, it really kind of screwed everything up and got everything out of alignment, and I should have known better. I should have just reset my machine after that, and then I think then things would have cut better the next time. So that just getting caught on wherever it got caught, I think was probably why all of my cuts have been off now. Okay, that loaded in fine. Let's go back here. So now we've already cut this little guy. We're gonna take both of these. We're gonna scoot them up here. And I made that to the, let's go back to design. That's 9, that's 8 inch. So yeah, I cut that just under 8 inches, so that should be fine. That looks good. Scoot you over a little bit more. And you can actually come up. Just making sure everything fits in there fine. That looks good. Okay, send. Now we're going to do our no line, which is our little cut box, our weeding box. And then we're doing the gray heat transfer glitter, same settings we wanted to use. And now we are going to hit send. Again, we're going to send as is. We have already mirrored what we need to mirror. Okay, everything appears like it's cutting in the right place now. Whew, okay, we got that. So let's work with our fabrics, and we are going to do this over at our heat press. So let me see if I can't get things sorted out here. Here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I've already cut the backing. This stuff has a rough edge to it. The rough side you're gonna do facing up. Hoping this little bit, it's not gonna. And then you're gonna put that on the back side of your fabric. So this is the good side, this is the backward side. So this is adding the sticky to the back side of my fabric. And yes, I have a lot more of the sticky stuff than I do fabric, and that's okay. I'm gonna put my Teflon sheet down over top to help kind of flatten everything down. It is going to get some stickiness on that Teflon sheet. I'm not worried about that. We're gonna do 320 degrees for 6 seconds. Okay. Like I said, it's gonna kind of stick. Can you see that? Sorry, I don't have a great place to set this camera yet, so things are a little bit kind of a work in progress. But I'm just gonna try to peel this off of here, but this shows you how sticky this stuff is. And yes, it looks like I ruined my Teflon sheet, but I promise, no, I did not. I'm just gonna peel this off. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the other roll here. I've got my sticky sheet. So we're putting that rough side down onto our backing. So like I said, the backing is going to add the stickiness, and it's also going to kind of stiffen up our fabric a bit. If you want your fabric stiffer, there are actual stiffener products that you can use to do that. But I think this kind of does the job well enough. And I'm going to try to get that sticky spot on my Teflon sheet, not on my fabric. Okay, and we're going to do that again, 320 degrees for 6 seconds. can peel this off. Okay. We've got our 2 sheets here. And let's come back over to our silhouette. Looks like our dragon, everything got cut out here and looks good. Finally, we can unload that. And again, I am confident in these cuts. Oh, you know what I didn't do with my cut settings? I didn't cut all the way through with that box, but that's okay. I can see the line. So when I did the box around my design, I should have done that box in a different setting so it would have cut through the carrier sheet as well, because I want to cut that off. But I can see that line well enough to now come in with my scissors and just cut that off. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, no scrap is too small. I can certainly save this and use that on a different project. We got that going, we got that going. These need to be weeded. It's hard to kind of do like clean up while you're working. Set that there. These are trash. These are good. That is done. Those we're gonna work with here in a minute. This one's trash. Okay, red. Let's look at our red now. So when we look here, let's go back to design. I'm gonna leave my, well, let's get rid of all that. Now we want all of this, and see how it like just fits on there. I know there's a lot of waste that's happening in the center. I can absolutely put another box in there and cut that out, but I want that spacing there. So we're going to leave it, and you know, a little bit of waste, it happens. The hard part is going to be, zooming in and trying to get this right to that edge to see if I can get the bottom. It's just inside. Perfect. Okay. We also need to mirror this. So this one we can delete because this is going heat transfer vinyl, and now I'm going to have to do that again. Try to get it just up. That should be good. We'll get it centered. Okay. Heat transfer vinyl with this one. We're going to do simple. We're going to do the heat transfer vinyl glitter. And I like that blade depth of 4, force of 33, speed of 5 is fine, 1 pass. Okay, so let's look at silhouette here. I've got my red Caesar glitter HTV, and this is basically taking up the whole sheet. So we will just go ahead again, shiny side down. We have what have we done? We have made our design has already been mirrored. There's the word, mirrored. It's not always easy for me to get these on here straight. And I want to make sure it's, oh, and it doesn't, dang, these are like 11.5 inches. That should not be a problem. And then I'm just going to roll this on down. And use your scraper tool if you need to just make sure you got enough on there. That looks pretty good. Scissors. All the way down. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut this one off. Is that right? Yeah, that's actually right. Let's give a little extra. So this time I'm going to be real careful to make sure I have a decent straight line. Or if it's not straight, I'm going to try to add a little extra, because this is like cutting right to the edge. Yeah. See what I mean? A little extra on the bottom here. It'll be fine. All right. All that is stuck down nicely. All right. We can go ahead and insert this. Okay. And all I'm going to do is hit send. We've already done everything else to it. We can go ahead and send. We're going to send as is. We've already mirrored. And send. That's going to go ahead and cut out. Okay, so while that is cutting out, we are going to go ahead and just trim all of the extra off of this. So I like to just make sure I have a larger piece of that backing while I'm doing this, just while I get it put on there, and then I can just trim the extra off. Otherwise, I have a tendency to not make the backing large enough, and you want to make sure that you have that good stickiness all the way around everything. Otherwise, parts of your design are not going to stick and they're going to peel up off your shirt. So while this is tedious, I find it completely worth it. And we have time while that's cutting to just cut these out. I feel like my Cameo 5 needs some WD-40. I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of shake it around here after this and see if I can get some debris or something out of like the housing there, because it is just making all sorts of noise lately and getting caught on things that I don't see. But I have been playing with some craft foam lately. So I'm going to have a fun new project for you here soon with some craft foam. And we'll be using the deep cut blade for that. So the other thing I want to say, when you're cutting fabric, we're going to use the Rotary Blade because I think it's fun for you to see the different blades and what you can do with them. But I want you to know that you can absolutely use your Autoblade. You can use just the regular ratchet blade, or they have that fabric ratchet blade, which is the ratchet blade in blue, so that you can distinguish that it is for fabric. But I think it does help, just like, you know, if you are somebody who uses, oh, come on. If you're somebody who sews, you know you have special sewing scissors, and those special sewing scissors are, gosh dang it. Oh, this has moved on me again. What is happening? It is in there, but it has definitely jumped. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it keep cutting. Oh, and there it is. Now it's done. Wow. Wow, I have never had so much trouble. Interesting. And you can't even see cut lines on here barely. So interesting. What is happening? So when all else fails, you turn off your machine. Yeah, hang it out to dry and you bring in your other machine. Because I also have a Cameo 4 sitting here that I haven't used in a minute. So let's see. Bear with me as we do a little rearranging here, because sometimes this is what is required in the craft room. All right, we're gonna bring in the dear old Cameo 4. Let me see if I can get my cord. How's this for crafting at its finest, you guys? This is the real down and dirty. Nothing wants to work. I don't know about these live streams, you guys. I think this might be real embarrassing for my credentials. You guys are just seeing all of the screw ups that happen. And, you know, this is real. I spent Friday trying to just doing test cuts of certain materials for new craft projects I'm showing you, and really just had all sorts of problems that I cannot even begin to explain to you. All of the problems I had. I don't know. I don't know if this really cut. Yeah, I guess it did a little bit. I'm not convinced. I had been having trouble with my Autoblade, not always. See, now it says it's on blade 5. It hasn't been cutting the right. Instead of me messing with this, let's just start over. But I spent Friday just doing all sorts of test cuts, and I kid you not, any problem that could happen happened. And it is so frustrating when you waste your time and you get everything done correctly and you're still like can't get a darn thing to cut on your machine. So I don't know. I really am starting to think that I have debris in that machine. I think from playing with my craft foam, I think there's probably some debris in there that I need to clean out and maybe kind of shake that machine out a little bit and see what the heck is going on. Oh, come on. All right, I can't cut a straight line. So we're gonna bring out my little cutter here. And yes, I know that says Cricut. Honestly, you guys, I'm not like a brand loyalist. You know, you get what you get, and some things are worth it. And you know what? This Cricut cutter right here is fantastic. Okay, I want 8 inches. How do I want to do this? That's not going to work. This way, Christy. So let's see if my Cameo 4 will decide to work with us today. So I don't know how far we're going to get with a project, but you're at least going to see me fumble through all sorts of things. Please don't think I don't know what I'm doing, because I do know what I'm doing, and this is part of me troubleshooting problems that are happening and figuring out how to troubleshoot them. Make it a little bigger. And this is what it takes. This is how you know when you're an expert. You know, problems don't stop you. You know how to troubleshoot your problems so that you can actually get your project done, even though nothing wants to work. So now we have a nice straight edge here. Oh my gosh, but I wanted 12. Oh dear. I wanted 12 inches. You know what? We're just going to cut that bottom part. And then I'm going to try to weed that top part and see if it worked. And then that way too, I can use, we can kind of space things a little bit better on that shirt. This is also how you just kind of go with the flow, right? Okay, this machine is on. I have an Autoblade in it. We'll get it lined up here. Just gonna scoot these rollers. Can you see what I just did? Lift up, or turn the handle towards you to lift up your rollers. So you can get those in place. Scoot these down a little bit. Where you put them at this point is just kind of like personal preference. I kind of try to space mine. When you're happy, click that down. Come on, line up. And then we're gonna load that in. Okay, so you're gonna know that this machine is louder. So let's go back to studio. Quick project, my butt. Design. Now we have to change our setup. We are using our Cameo 4 Autoblade 12x12. And now I'm going to ungroup. We're gonna check these. So now I just want this. That should be fine. It's already mirrored. It's trying to reconnect. My Bluetooth is blue. I have not used my Cameo 4 in quite some time. So let's see how long this is going to decide to take to reconnect. Searching, trying to reconnect. Okay, well, while that is trying to reconnect, that we should be done with that. We cut this one. Okay, we're just going to continue cutting the edges on the scissors. Here we go. Oh, what I was saying before is, you know how you have, like if you're a sewer, you have your special sewing scissors that are only for cutting fabric. I tend to do the same thing with my mats and my blades. So while you can use your Autoblade for everything, or you can get just a standard ratchet blade and use it for everything, Silhouette also has ratchet blades in blue that are made for fabric so that you know that that is your fabric blade. Or they have the Rotary Blade, which is what we're going to use today, which is made specifically for cutting fabric. And it's just a wheel on it, and that's how it cuts. Now you're saying my machine's unavailable. I promise it's not unavailable. Try harder. So when your Bluetooth is white, it's not reading. It's like searching there. Now blue, it should be able to read it. And it's just saying that it's unavailable. Stop telling me it's unavailable. I promise you it's available. So we're just going to cut all of this. And no, these are not my fabric scissors. I have no idea where my fabric scissors are. These are just my cheapo craft room scissors. Don't judge me. These are getting really dull to the point that I either need to sort out how to sharpen them, or I need to get some new scissors. So the reason you use, you know, specialty scissors for different material, because each material kind of dulls your blade faster, you know, different ways. So using your same, especially like your blade, like using the same blade for fabric as you do for cardstock, you're going to get different debris in that blade, and you know, it just kind of dulls them. It wears on your blades differently, and you want a nice crisp sharp blade when you're cutting, most importantly when you're cutting cardstock or fabric or thicker material. and less so important when you're cutting vinyl or HTV. And of course it doesn't want, still saying my machine is unavailable. So we're going to turn this off. Give that a couple seconds and then we'll turn it back on and see if it can decide to find it. I might have, sometimes I run into the problem that I have like too many Bluetooth devices going at the same time. That could also be my issue. So we'll just give that a second. Let's go ahead and turn that back on. And we'll see if it decides to go through and read it this time. Whew, I tell you what, having that heat press on, it is toasty in here. Okay, well, those look better. All right, that looks better. Let me clean up my mess. Still saying it's unavailable. Well, here's what we do next. Saying it's unavailable, I'm going to come into my settings, Bluetooth and devices, and it is paired, so that's good. So now I just need you, sometimes you can come down here and be like, hey, yo, I want my Cameo 4. Oh, look at that. Sometimes you have to click on it. Now it says it's connecting. Trying to reconnect. It's always something, isn't it? I tell ya. Trying to reconnect. Okay. Oh, there we go. Load media. Woohoo! Finally. Okay, so it doesn't realize that I loaded, so let's unload and then we'll just reload this. Load. Dear Cameo 4, please work correctly. Everything is loaded. We've got our glitter HTV. We're going to do that blade depth of 4, force 33, speed 5, 1 pass. We've already mirrored. We're going to go ahead and hit send. Send as is. Okay. That is doing its thing. This stuff is ready. Okay, while that's doing its thing, I want to just take a look at this. Nah. I think we're just gonna chop it off about here. That seems to be under the edge there. I think this top part cut okay. All right, well, let's see. Let's see if we can weed some of this. Okay, I'm just gonna weed this. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this weeded here. I got a corner up. Well, where'd it go? Okay, so I did fake nails. I'm doing like the gel and the builder gel and doing it all by myself at home as a DIY. And it's been an experience. I'm down the rabbit hole, but also I'm not used to having long nails and it's in my way all the time. All the time in my way. Okay, well, at least this worked, and I can weed this, so that's good. Our settings are good. This is just going to be a very, very thin outline, and we're going to try not to get glitter on everything. I don't know, is this fun for you to watch? And I find weeding, especially HTV, because like you don't have to worry about the extra part of it sticking to anything. Like to me, this is therapeutic. Regular weeding, regular vinyl kind of stresses me out because I always get it stuck where it doesn't belong. And then I end up like almost ruining my design. It's like a whole thing. Okay. These are tiny little gaps. And then I can just kind of fold this. I can see what else needs to come out. But yeah, sometimes I find like while the nails look pretty, they tend to get in the way a lot. I don't know. That's a kind of a weird, that's a weird me problem. Let's see. Or like trying to figure out how to spell this backwards so you know that you're actually weeding the right area. I always find that fun. I wish I could say this was go a lot faster and I can just speed through this, but you know, we're live, so you gotta go at real-time pace with me here. But I like the cut settings. I think it cut well. That's the end of it. Okay. It cut well. It cut through everything. It's just a lot to weed. Come on. Come on. We want this right here. Okay, so this is just going to be the tiniest, littlest bit. So we have to also pull out this inside piece. And then there's even insides to that. Yep. Okay. All right. So now I know for next time, I think I will just like probably try to do a lot of this off screen so that you don't have to stare at me weeding everything. I don't know. Feels a little bit ridiculous. Oh no, did I peel the wrong piece on that? Shoot. Oh my gosh, and I still did it wrong. Christy. Cool. Hate when that happens. How did I do that? How many did I do that to? Ah! Okay, well oh, there it is. There's my A. Let me just... These are so thin. We're gonna try and stick this A back where it belongs. You think we can do that? I don't think I've ever tried that with HTV. So we're just gonna stick this back right here where I want it, back on that carrier sheet. This is kind of funny. Have you ever done that? Oh goodness. I need this tiny little outline to stick. So this could get problematic for us. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I was able to save it. It seems like it's a little stretched out already. Cool. But we'll make it work. I'll pull this out. We are gonna make it work. And this little Okay, get that out of the way. At least we're only have the little part for the word Basgiath, and then the rest of it is just going to be solid, so it won't be quite so terrible. But I think this is going to look really cool when this goes over all of our fabric. Let's not screw this A up. There's a little center here. Peel the center out of the T. We're almost done with this piece. What else do we have to cut? Oh, we just have the fabrics to cut. And like I said, we're going to do that with the Rotary Blade, and then I will get, after we get this done being weeded, then we will do the rest of our weeding while things are cutting, so you don't necessarily have to stare at me while I'm weeding. I can kind of see some of the lines here. There it is. Okay, that is weeded. See how pretty that is? Oh, see, our A is going to be a problem right there. But I think we'll be able to sort that out. This one should be done. We can undo that. Peel this off the mat. We'll weed that next. Okay, we have all of our HTV. Let me just push all this into the trash. Make things a little bit easier, less things on the desk. Okay, fabric. So you can see how by putting, so there's the backing. It's got a little bit of material to it, and it's made this is not quite as flimsy now, which is nice, which is what we want. This one's gonna be our dragon, our black dragon, which if you've read the book, this is Tairn. Our yellow dragon is named Andarna. Okay, that looks good. It's stuck on there well. You can always come in with your scraper tool if you need to really make sure all those edges are down. If you don't think it's stuck on there well, I think I'm just going to use a little painter's tape down the side here. It's kind of a little over the edge. And then I'm going to do the same on the top. And then this side. Well, I feel like if I'm going to do 3 sides, I should probably do 4 sides, right? Okay, tape down there well. We'll go ahead and insert our mat. That lined up. And then here is the Rotary Blade. So it has this little piece on here that you just turn. And what that does is you turn it, it goes ahead and hides the blade to, you know, prevent you from cutting yourself. This is very sharp. But this piece also turns and comes all the way off in case you need to get in there and clean. So you just want to make sure, you see how there's that gap there? You just want to make sure that that is turned up all the way so the entire blade there is exposed. There is no, this goes into carriage too. There is no blade depth. It does not change. It is just one depth. Oh, and that is a very, there we go, tight fit in there. Okay, it's in, and that is, it'll censor that. Sense it? Not censor. It'll sense it. Okay, let's come back here. That's done. All right, we are doing our black dragon. Now this does not have to be mirrored. We're cutting on the pretty side. So this is not mirrored. We are doing carriage 2. I use the linen fabric setting with that backing, seems to work well. And then I'm just going to select rotary cut. Oops, select your object and then hit rotary cut. Now you'll notice my lines went from red to blue. That is how you know you are now using the carriage 2. And then you see all these cut lines around it here. That's why you need extra room to cut all of those. That's the rotary blade making its turn. So you just want to make sure that it's got enough space kind of all around it here. Looks like I'm down at, this is my 8-inch mark. Yep, and my fabric goes to 9 inches, so that looks just fine. Everything should be great. And speed of 5, force 23, 1 pass. I'm just using the standard settings here for that linen fabric setting. Everything's ready, our machine's ready. We can go ahead and hit send. And then it's gonna go ahead and get that cut out for us. So it does some kind of silly things. That takes a little bit of time to do its cutting. And again, welcome to Cameo 4. It is much more noisy. All right, this one here just cut at the top here. Ooh. Did not mean for that to get in the way. This, we're just gonna keep weeding things out here. See if I can tell where the edge of this is. Dragon. We'll just go. I'm just gonna cut this. Okay, that is now a reusable piece, and then we're just gonna weed this while all of that is cutting. This was a little bit of a thicker area, so I think this should weed a lot faster. Doesn't seem like maybe this cut as well though. Why did you not cut as well? Just a little bit thin. Oh, and again, you're reading backwards, so this is the R for rider. So if you have not read the Fourth Wing series, I'm gonna give you a little kind of a what it's about, but with no spoilers. So it is about, you know, 20-year-old people who are in a war college, and the main characters are dragon riders. That is their role in the war college, and they are learning how to be soldiers on dragons. And you get some war action, and you get a love story, and it is it is a kind of what they call fantasy romance or romantasy themed, and it's going to be a 5-book series. Book 3, Onyx Storm, just came out January 21st. So you got a couple books. If you haven't started reading, you at least have a couple, and then it sounds like the next one's not going to be till maybe 2026. So we got some time to wait now, but I tell you, it's been quite some time since I've been this enthralled in a book series. So if you're interested in something maybe a little different to read, highly recommend. I am officially a book groupie now. Yeah, I think the last time I got even remotely this close to excited about a book was Harry Potter. So this has been fun. It's been fun to do something just for me and to, you know, read books for fun, not for business, just because I can. Okay, that went easier. We're just going to weed the insides out of this. And on that setting, it is going to cut through the fabric and the backing. So it should get all of that cut out for us. And looks like that one is done. I'm just going to finish weeding this and then we'll peel that off and put on the next one. You try to like get it all done in between while things are cutting so you never have like downtime where you're just like, I don't know, I'm not doing anything, I'm just hanging out. But it never fails. Can't ever seem to get it all, at least I can't seem to get it all timed out where I'm constantly working on something while something else is working. Sometimes you just have to do some waiting. Alright, come on, the E and the little piece in the R here. Okay, all of our red is officially weeded. Great. All right, this one is done. I can see it cut through really well. I'll go ahead and unload. Take this off. You know, it's funny that tape just doesn't seem to stick to the fabric very well. I don't know, maybe like a fabric tape. Is there such a thing? But here is our little dragon, and look how cleanly that cut. There's just a couple little spots I have to kind of help it a little bit, but that just cut so perfectly clean. And then if you wanted to, you could save these scraps. They've already got backing on them, and then you could use them for something else. So now let's go ahead and put our red piece on there. I'm just going to get this loaded in. I can use the same tape that's on here. Might need to come in with your scraper. I've got a couple little debris left on there. Can scrape that off. And then I'm just going to get this lined up at the top. Get that pressed down, put my tape back in place. Other piece of tape down the bottom just to get that all secure. Okay, tape's on there pretty good, sorta sorta pretty good. All right, we'll go ahead and load this one in. And then this one we're doing just the Basgiath, so let's come back to design. We can get rid of our dragon. And so this one we're doing this red Basgiath. We're going to do carriage 2. So again, I'm going to click on that and hit rotary cut. And then you see all those lines on there. I want to make sure those lines aren't cutting on my mat. That looks pretty darn good. Okay, so I have plenty of room on there to do that. We're going to use that same setting, the linen fabric. This red's a little bit thicker, so I used the setting that was going to work for both of them. So that'll cut nicely. We'll go ahead and just kind of clean up our workspace here again. Bring in the trash can. sweep everything into the trash can. Hopefully my tape didn't get in the way. Okay, so let's see what else we've got cut. We've got our weeded. We have weeded that. Did we cut our gold dragon? Now I can't even remember what we did here. Okay, we're done with red. Oh, did we not? Did we not? That was my junk piece. Little dragon. We've did it too many times now, I don't know. Okay, I guess we still have to cut our gold dragon and our black outline. Or did we cut the black outline? Guys, I can't remember. No, we were cutting our black out. Here they are. We did cut those. Okay, here they are. So we just need to weed these. And I'm just gonna cut a little bit. You never know when you might need a little piece there just to, just a little piece, like if you needed to like put a little HTV over a patch in your clothes or something, a tiny little piece of HTV would totally get that job done. All right, I'm just peeling up a corner here. Little Andarna dragon is all weeded out. Okay, throw that in the trash. Okay, that's extra. And then now we have our black, which was our dragon outline, and then we've got the box around it, which really turns out I didn't really need. This one should also weed pretty quick. Even though it's a thin outline, I think it'll weed okay. Yeah. Okay, this looks awesome. I'm so excited for this. I have been, this project's kind of been in my head for a couple of weeks. And I'm really excited to finally get it all put together. I had to do a little research about cutting fabric because, as you all know, I am not a sewer. I don't do a lot with fabric. So this was my first experience with trying to sort out how to cut fabric and how we would use that. So this has been really fun for me to sort this out. And like I get a cool fangirl shirt out of this as well. And you get to learn how to do these kinds of things with your cutting machine, which I think is fantastic. And now it's like when you start mixing different mediums, like your fabric with your HTV, that just opens up the doors even more to the different awesome kinds of things that you can create. And I'm really excited to see how these two are going to look together. And we're going to be able to put all of this on kind of, I think we're just going to do like a quick press because this is going to go over the fabric, and then that some of the red's going to go over the red fabric, and then this will go over the black as well. So we are going to do kind of a quick press with the fabric just to get it tacked on. And then we'll do a full real press with all of, oh no, we can't because we have to layer the HTV. Okay, just kidding. We'll do a bunch of quick presses. So this will be very interesting. So this is almost done. So that's, when that's done, everything else should be ready to go. So the next thing that we have to do to just get things ready is, let me zoom back in here. So with this, there's this backing that's on it, and all you have to do is just find a little corner, perhaps, and lift this paper backing up. I found it's kind of like, if you crinkle it up a little bit, sometimes it's easier to find a little spot to get a corner to lift up. Maybe. Come on. This paper backing is definitely harder. Okay, so there, I got my tool under there, was able to kind of lift a corner. And then now you're gonna see how flimsy this really is. And you see that this is it's clear on there now. You can't see the stickiness, but it is still there. So now this has stickiness on it, and it is ready to be placed on your shirt. And then the backing goes in the recycle. This one is done. Can undo that. Okay, I think we're done cutting. Let's make a little more room here for us. Okay, so that was the rotary blade. You saw how it did with that. I didn't think this part through very well because now we cut out each letter individually. So this is going to be really fun. I have an idea. I have an idea of how we're going to do this. Oh, this little spot got goofed. So it did kind of goof up. It got caught a little bit while it was cutting. So I'm just going to come in here. I have these needlepoint scissors. I'm just going to trim this just a little bit to try to cut out that goofed up spot. Okay, well, that's a little goofy, but it's better than having frayed edges. So the reason I added the HTV over all of these letters is that HTV is going to help hold, one, it's going to help kind of hold the this on there, and it's going to help like with fraying on the edges. So I'm hoping that it's going to kind of serve multi-purpose for us. And then now we get to peel the backing off of all of these. And then we get to come to the fun part where we get to start pressing and getting things done. I'm so excited. As soon as we get these all peeled off. Why is this the most complicated part? This is like when you use your foam squares and it's like you got to peel that paper backing off. Yeah, this is just like that, except again and again and again and in different shapes. But it is the same concept with all of these. Okay, here we go. Got that one peeled. So what we're going to do, we're going to just kind of stick these under our red HTV outlines. We're going to see if we can't use those to help us sort this out, or we might even just use the rest of the fabric and then just try to use it as like a stencil and then remove the stencil before we press. I think either way should work. It's probably going to be easier for us to try to use the rest of the fabric outline as a stencil. Okay, so let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should I have done a lot of this off screen? Do you enjoy getting to watch me cut and weed and do all of this? Or would you rather me just come to you and say like, here, all we're gonna focus on today is cutting the fabric. We already know how to cut HTV, so just show us the fabric part and then let's put it all together. Let me know in the comments what you think, so that way I know how to prepare for these videos in the future, because to me, I don't know. I could go either way. Sometimes it's fun to kind of watch the whole process, but then there's other times where I'm like, all right, just get get to the point. And the point is we wanted to know how to cut fabric. So show me how to do it. So yeah, let me know. That way I'm not boring you with these videos. Okay, so now we got everything kind of sorted out and ready to go. We have all these pieces. Okay, bringing in the sweatshirt. And let's look at our heat press here. Okay. Oh, I still have sticky stuff. Okay. The other trick that I have for you, because I got sticky stuff on this mat and I don't want to ruin my, what do I not want to ruin? I don't want to ruin this mat or my sweatshirt. I'm just using some rubbing alcohol. And that makes it able to just wipe off this sticky stuff. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table. Everything's shaking, I know, I'm sorry. And then the sticky stuff, this was the leftover, the backing, the, what is it, Wonder Under. So, and don't think like, so my Wonder Under is, this is all like fabric and stuff that I got from my grandmother, and who knows how long she had it. And it's been sitting in my house for at least probably 4 years. So I don't even know how old this stuff is, but it seems to be holding. And where was I going with that? I don't know. Here's my sweatshirt. The nice thing is this sweatshirt has this lovely little V here to kind of tell me what's the center. We're going to do just a quick pre-press. I'm literally just going to do about 6 seconds. So 320, about 6 seconds. That's just a good pre-press to do this. Okay, what was I doing? Fabric. I'm going to start below that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I have 8 letters. I made this 12 by 12. We're going to fold this in half so that I know where the center of my fabric template. And then I'm going to line that center up right under the little arrow. Gosh, I hope that's not down too low. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be fine. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to just try to grab all of these letters and I'm going to lay them in their perspective areas. And we're going to see if this is going to work. Oop, and try to not move everything around while I do it. That's the real problem. Okay, I know you probably can't like overly see what I'm doing. I will show you when I got all this laid in here so you can see what I did. I'll show you from a different angle. And this is just to kind of get it like a rough idea of where these are supposed to go, since we know that our HTV is going to sit right on top of this as well. Okay, so let me kind of show you quick what I did here. So I just used that as a template to put all of those letters in there. Oh, and it's not going to work. Okay, that might not work. I didn't think this part through all that well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to just come in. Let's do it this way. Okay, different idea. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe, let me just try this here before I move everything back to the desk. Will that stick in there? It will. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. here's what we're gonna do. Okay, I've got my HTV. You know, I got the sticky on the carrier sheet. We're gonna use that to our advantage to lay our letters in. They should be pretty well centered, and then just kind of press in the center of them. And some of these might have like taller up and down certain directions, but I'm trying to make sure that they're centered inside of the letters. So that the HTV will sit on top of them. I know this is real fun, but this is how you make sure that everything's going to line up when you go to do it, because heaven forbid that you go to press this and things don't line up and then you've just like ruined your shirt. And we definitely don't want to ruin our shirt. This A is going to be goofy because the HTV is barely sitting there too. Just have to be real careful with that. I'm going to have to play with that A some more, because we're going to have to really get that one right. And then some of these letters didn't cut perfectly, which means that it's going to show. Darn it. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take it back to the heat press. And wish me luck. We're just gonna try to do a quick little flip. Oh, and well, we only lost all of them. Oh dear, guys. I don't know. Okay, this is really not fun doing this under the heat. It's too hot. And I don't want it up that high. Come back down. Shoot. Okay, well, that did not. All right, let's try this. Some of the heat from here might actually help these stick a little bit better in these areas. So I'm going to use that heat to my advantage while I try to stick these down. So I'm just doing the same thing I did on the table, putting the letters into the opening, but I think using that little bit of heat, things seem to be sticking because they're kind of already heating up. You know, things are getting just a teeny bit melty. So they're gonna stick in there a little bit better while I get this all set up. The other thing I could do is like I don't want to put like scotch or like the painter's tape over this, and then I could do like heat safe tape over the front and try to do it that way. I don't know, that just seems like a lot of extra work. I think this goes this way. Come on, sit down. Oh, see, and then the A just completely gave way. My glitter outline of my A is gonna make my life difficult. You know what? We might just press the glitter part of the A, the outline. We might just press that here secondary. Okay, these are by no means perfect. I don't claim to be perfect at this. I did not think this part through quite so well. How do I want to do this? All right, I think we are going to do it this way. I'm going to come in with my Scotch tape and put a line of Scotch tape on the back side of my letters, okay? Scotch tape on my letters. Okay. Heat tape. So now I can just like get those letters lined up where I want them. I don't know if this is good. Does that help? Is that easier to see? And then what I'm going to do is take a piece of heat tape, not over the Scotch tape, but above it. And then I'm hoping I can easily remove the Scotch tape. Doing this heat tape as like a hinge. This is the lovely good old heat resistant tape. Okay, so I'm hoping now that can be like a hinge. And then I can just come in here, remove the Scotch tape. Ah. Okay, well that mostly worked. All right, I don't know. Okay, well guys, it just might not be perfect, but that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so see how I did that? So I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Put you back over here. So I'm gonna press this 6 seconds is what we're gonna give it, just to get those melted on. I have no, I wanted to put, I do want to kind of protect it a little bit. Ooh, that has the sticky stuff on it. Okay, you know what? It'll be fine. It will be fine. It's just fabric. We're just going to go for it. 6 seconds. Okay, and that's just enough. That should be just enough to get those set in place here. And then I'm going to come and peel up all of my heat tape. Ooh, yeah, heat tape's hot. And these letters are just like barely on there, but that's all I need them to be. Because we're doing multiple layers, this is going to be under heat multiple times. And it did try to like peel a couple little runs on my fabric. All right, well, some of these are not, ooh, they're hard to see. And some are very not perfect. Okay, and then this one, I'm just gonna do, let's just do another 6 seconds for this. So this is just the Basgiath War College in red, minus the A. Because I still have, so let me show you. So that's over top. And then I still have my little A here that we're going to place next. These are warm peels. That looks great. You know, it still is like completely not stuck down, but again, I'm not overly upset because we're going to be doing multiple presses. So now let me get this A in place where it's supposed to go. Like that. Okay. I'm just going to put my carrier sheet back down on top to cover everything up, keep everything safe and secure. And then next we're going to come in with our dragon outline with our black dragon. Just going to scoot things up a little bit. Okay, so there's the black dragon in place. I've got everything else covered up so it's safe and secure in there. We're going to press the black dragon. It's also going to press the red. And then while we're at it, let's go ahead and press, no, I think we're just going to do that. That'll be fine. So now, again, I'm going to do another 6 seconds. Okay, so everything is good and tacked down. Now we can go ahead and bring in our outline for our dragon. I'll get that lined up. My lovely glitter outline. Just make sure that that's lined up. That looks good. We'll do another 6 seconds. Okay, we're going to peel that. Oop. And that wants to peel everything. Okay. Warm peel, not hot. Let's see. Oh dear. There we go. Sometimes you just have to peel from different corners and see which side wants to behave. So that's okay. Some of it's peeling up. Again, it's okay. We're going to add our little gold dragon, Andorna, right in the center of our black dragon. And then I can add my dragon rider at the bottom. Again, I'm going to fold this in half, trying to just find the center. And I'm just going to peel that up pretty close. So that looks good. I am going to, even though I have the stuff on the yellow and everything, ugh, come on. I want to protect everything else. So I am going to come in with this to just protect the rest of my dragons. So when you look at that, I've got the gold with its carrier sheet, and then I put that other carrier sheet on there since I'm not using my Teflon sheet because it's got sticky stuff on it. And now we're going to do another 6 seconds and see what that looks like. So 320 degrees for all of this, and we're just doing 6 seconds. So let's peel off. These are all supposed to be kind of a warm peel. That middle one might need a little bit more. And what I think I'm going to do is take the time to clean off my that looks good. I'm going to take the time to just see where I can clean up this real fast to try to get a nice spot that is safe and not have sticky stuff on it, so I can use this to cover my entire design. And then I'm just gonna press all of it again. Just getting all the sticky stuff off. Using this little bit of heat that is coming off of the heat press really helps peel all that off. Okay, so I'm just covering everything with my Teflon sheet, and then I'm gonna do just another 6 seconds on here. Okay, all done. So let's see here. We're gonna check this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just like making sure, okay, everything looks good here. The ones I'm mostly worried about is this A. That looks good and stuck down. Everything looks good and stuck down. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's turn this off. We don't need this anymore. And then let's take a gander at our sweatshirt. Ooh, here you go. What do you think? Turned out so cute. So we cut fabric, we cut HTV, ran into all sorts of problems. We used our rotary blade, and then we also pressed everything. Now, I want you to think about grabbing this heat press setting tracker. And this is what I use to keep track of the settings that I'm using when I'm using my heat press. So I looked up the Caesar Glitter HTV and what they recommend on their website for, using a heat press is to do 10 to 15 seconds at 320 degrees. So that's where I got my 320 degrees from their recommendation for using with cotton or poly blends or 100% polyester. So that's where I got that. And then the Wonder Under says on here, it's talking about using with just a regular iron. And for using the iron, it says 10 to 15 seconds. Or I'm sorry, when you're initially placing it onto the vinyl, you want to press for 5 to 8 seconds. That's where I got the 6 seconds. And what I did in the very beginning, where's my little test piece? Here it is. So what I did, I cut a little scrap. I put the backing stuff on it. I cut out a test piece of both pieces, and then I cut out a piece of HTV, and I checked all of those settings on a small scrap to make sure that the settings I'm using are working before I go to the trouble of making everything and it not working. So that's where I came up with the 6 seconds. And then anytime you're layering things on top of each other, you want less time because overall you're getting more heat over more time. Okay, so through everything here, we got it done. We have our awesome 4th Wing Series shirt completed, ready to fangirl out and, I don't know, listen to Onyx Storm for the 3rd time perhaps here. Make sure you go to this link here. I'll also put it in the description. Grab your heat press setting tracker so you can keep track, and then you can write little notes on here of how we did all that. Okay, that's what I have for you. I'll see you next week.